Hi and welcome back to my channel. It's June, so it's the middle of the year, and I've seen a lot of people doing these mid-year checkups, mid-year book tags, so I thought it was a very good idea to do one of these. I saw it on Sara Carrolli's channel, and she had some very fun questions to do, so today I wanted to do one of those mid-year book tags. So my Goodreads goal of the year was to read 65 books, and I have read exactly 65 books this month, so of course just a number, but it's always nice to reach a goal. I also think that most books I've read are actually pretty good, so it was really difficult to answer these questions. But we have a lot of books to discuss, so let's start. So I wrote all of the questions down on my phone. The first question is the best book you've read so far in 2023. If you also follow me on Bookstagram or BookTok, you may or may not have seen my obsession with this Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. I finished it. It was my 65th book of the year and the best one. I'm obsessed with this book, with the characters, the dragons. I saw all of these people reading the arc of this book and they were so positive about it. It just intrigued me, and like dragons. I watched Game of Thrones and the only reason I loved that show was because of the dragons. It just, I don't know what it is, but it just fascinates me. Or like Shrek. That dragon was also pretty cool. I was intrigued, I wanted to pick it up, and then it exploded all over. Everyone was giving it 5-star reviews, infinity stars. I tapped every single quote, I think, in this book, every single moment. It's been really hard reading after this book, I'm not gonna lie. I've been in a book hangover. It's already the 17th of June right now and I still haven't finished a book after this one. Now, because I also read romance and thrillers right now, I also wanted to include my favorites of those genres. So my favorite thriller book of the year, now I have to admit, I haven't read that many, but it's Rock, Paper, Scissors by Alice Feeney. The plot twist in this book was just, I never could have guessed, and I don't think anyone was able to guess it. This woman is just so smart. I mean, I've read The Housemaid and that was also so good, but this, I don't know, it's just next level for me. And then for my romance book, The Right Move by Liz Tomford. It's the second book in the Windy City series. First book is called Mile High. And then you have this book, and this one follows Indy and Ryan. Ryan is the brother of the main character from the first book, and Indy is her best friend, and she just got out of a very shitty relationship and she's heartbroken, and so she needs a place to stay. And then Stevie, the sister of Ryan, asks him if Indy can stay with him because he's a professional basketball player and he isn't always at home, so perfect opportunity. And then that way Indy is close to Stevie as well, so she can be there for her. But Ryan is this shy, grumpy guy and he doesn't want to do it at all, but of course he wants to help out his sister, so he lets her friend stay at his apartment. It's just so emotional, so beautiful, so much tension, and I loved every single second of it. Please read it. And then the second question is best sequel you've read so far in 2023. Heartless, which is a sequel to Flawless. It's from the Chestnut Spring series. If you have watched my other videos, you've heard me rave about these books already, so I'm not going too much in detail, but it's basically a small town series, single dad nanny romance. Please read it if you're in the mood for a quick read with a very good plot and with a lot of depth as well, because the character growth in this book was amazing. And another sequel I really loved, I don't have the physical copy of, but it's Letters to Molly by Daphne Perry, and it's the second book in the Mason Jar series. First book is called The Birthday List. Both of those books were really good, but Letters to Molly was just so good. I definitely want to buy the physical copies of those. And that's my toxic trait. I can read a book on my Kindle to save money, but I'm still gonna buy the physical copy if I really love it. But Letters to Molly is about a couple who have been married, and for some reason, I'm not gonna spoil which reason, but for some reason they broke up. They also have kids already, so that just makes it extra difficult for them. So they still need to see each other. Both just still really love each other, and it was so heartbreaking to read and perfection. Okay, the third question is a new release you haven't read yet but want to. A lot. It's Reckless by Elsie Silver. It just came out and it's the 5th book in the Chestnut Spring series. And I've seen people who have read the Ark rave about this book. People either love this one the most or that one. So I think I'm gonna love it. And then Crimson River by Daphne Perry. I have read all of the other books in the Eden series, and this one is our new release. It also just came out. Every book follows a different Eden's brother or sister, and this one is about Lila. And Lila, we don't know that much about her yet. I mean, Eloise, we saw her in the other books, and she was this very bubbly personality, but Lila is one of the more quieter siblings, which sounds really intriguing, and she's the one who owns the coffee shop. And then the next one is, I don't really think it's a new release, but it's Glow by Raven Kennedy. I think it's been out for a while now, and I still haven't read it. I love her series, the Prisoner series, but I just, for some reason, haven't read Glow. No, I know why the reason is actually. It's because I can't find the right copy of it, and I want to tab it and annotate it. But I have the books by her that she released herself, I think. And here in Belgium you can only find the UK covers with the penguin logo, so it wouldn't match with my other copies. And that's just a deal breaker for me. I don't want my books to not match. And then another one, a very popular fantasy series at the moment, is the Crowns of Nyaxia, or the first book is called The Serpent and the Wings of Night. Now that I'm starting to read some more fantasy, I really want to get into that one because, like I said, the book hangover I'm having right now is so hard, and I want to find some books that will give me the same feeling as Fourth Wing. So please, if you have any book recs for me, let me know in the comments because I want to get out of this book slump. Well, it's not a slump, but it's a book hangover. And then the last book, Unfortunately Yours by Tessa Bailey. I think it's the second book in that new series by her. So the first one was Secretly Yours, and I didn't love that book. I had to DNF it. But apparently, this book is supposed to be the complete opposite, like really, really good. I've even heard a girl on TikTok say that it was better than It Happened One Summer. So I want to try it. My most anticipated release for the second half of the year. If you know me, you know I'm obsessed with Icebreaker by Hannah Grace. I read that one in October last year and it was just amazing. And then after it got all of the hype it deserved. So now the sequel will come out on October 3rd. And it's going to be called Wildfire, and it will be the second book in the Maple Hills series. I'm so excited. And then, of course, I'm so happy we don't have to wait that long, because in November this year, the second book in the Empyrean series will come out, so the sequel to Fourth Wing, and it's going to be called Iron Flame. I already pre-ordered it. Now I hope it will actually arrive, because I also ordered the limited edition of Fourth Wing with the black stenciled edges and the little dragons on it. I ordered it on the 20th of April. We are now June and I still don't have it. I love that for me. Let's all hope I will actually receive the book and the second book as well. And then the biggest surprise. The Edens, a legacy short story. And I'm not saying this because I didn't think I would love it, but because I didn't expect this book to come out. Just one day I saw Daphne Perry, because I follow everything she does on Instagram, post this book and saying, ta-da, here's a little short story for you. And it's actually about the parents of the Edens siblings. So it's how they fell in love. Well, not fell in love actually. It's a second chance romance, but I didn't see this coming and I was so happy when I saw it. And so it's like, I think 50 pages and I read it in an hour. Just binged it. And then a favorite new author, debut or new to you? Well, that's definitely Rebecca Yarros, because normally she writes romance books and I've seen her most famous one. I've always wanted to read that one, so I'm definitely going to, because her writing was perfect. And then I've talked about this author so many times. It's definitely Daphne Barry. I have read a lot of her books already. So I've read the Edens, the Lark Cove series, which is also small town and so cozy and perfect for winter, I think. Her Mason Jar series. And then I still have to read her other books as well, which I'm definitely going to. And then another author I'm currently reading for the first time is Karina Halley, and she usually writes dark romance, I think. And this book is called A Ship of Bones and Teeth. It's a reimagining of The Little Mermaid mixed with Pirates of the Caribbean with a little sauce of dark romance, and it's really good. I'm still reading it. I think I'm now 50% in. So far it's really good and it's getting spicy. My newest fictional crush. I'm gonna let you guess first. Which one do you think it is? Because I have two of them. I have a fantasy book and a romance book. Okay, did you guess? If you guessed Zayden and Ryan Shea, you're correct. And the next question, a book that made you cry. Okay, a little disclaimer, I cry a lot in books. I get really attached to the characters, so they are crying, I'm crying. It's crazy how fast I can cry with these books. I'll just mention the ones that really made me sob. So, Fourth Wing, The Birthday List by Daphne Perry, Letters to Molly, oh, and Anastasia by Sophie Lark. That one also really got me. And then a book that made me happy, Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter. It's a YA romance. It's just the perfect feel-good romance book. It's about a teenage girl who's obsessed with a guy, and her grumpy neighbor is going to help her get him. They both start fake dating and it was just so cute. And at the start of every chapter you have a little quote from a rom-com movie. So yeah, really cute. The most beautiful book you've bought so far this year. It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. It's the special edition. It has beautiful edges with the little flower petals. And then underneath the dust jackets it has this quote on it. Really pretty. I have also ordered two special editions of Fourth Wing. This one, it's the German edition, and also this version, it's from this account. I think they're already sold out, but they have many different books and special editions if you want to check it out. And then the last question is, what books do you need to read by the end of the year? Well, as you can see, a lot, but definitely this series. I have them on my shelves now for 2 years. And then also these books right here, the Harry Potter series. I'm one of the rare people who still haven't read the books. I've seen the movies a very long time ago. I don't even remember all of it. And I refuse to watch them before I've read the books now. And then this series, it's the Magnolia Parks universe. This one actually hasn't been sitting on my shelves for that long. But it's like Gossip Girl in London. Very toxic relationships, but I love it to read about it. And then these big boys, it's the Boys of Tommen series. They are so intimidating. They're huge, over 600 pages. Also the font is really small. I don't know if you can see that, but it's just so small. And this is Binding 13 and Keeping 13, and there are already 2 other books in this series out, so I'm gonna have to buy them. I have bought these editions, and of course now she came out with new editions without people on the covers. But it's okay. It's okay. I'm gonna buy the rest of these editions. because these were expensive. Since I've read Anastasia by Sophie Lark and I loved it, I also really need... There was just a random tab on my book. I need to read her other books as well, so this is first book in a series. It's called Brutal Prince. Is it Brutal Birthright series or something like that? Cute! And I also really want to read the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J. Maas. I loved her other books, the Ekatar books, so this is supposed to be less romance based. I think it has some romance, but it's a little bit more fantasy. And then after I've read these books, I want to continue reading the Crescent City books. I already started this one, but I think it will be better to read Throne of Glass first and then get into these books. I think they're all connected in some way, so I'm excited to see the connections finally. And I think the third book will come out in January 2024. I'm excited. So those were all of the questions. I hope you enjoyed this little mid-year book tag. I'm always looking for new recommendations, so if you would let me know your favorite book of the year in the comments, I would really appreciate it, because if it was your all-time favorite book of the year, it just has to be amazing. So that was all for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you hopefully very soon in the next one. Bye!